Hello, it's your friend Doublebite. And here we are with my thoughts on Avengers Infinity Wars. Oh dear God, I can see myself on the screen behind where I'm talking. It is so distracting. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try to move that. My setup is so fucked. This is why you never see me like on video, because my setup is so fucked up. Is there anything I can remove this preview? Probably not. I'm just going to scroll it down so I can see chat if any of y'all's chat. But let me see here. Actually, I'm just going to tweak this. That's not going to work. Whatever. We're going to roll with it. It looks like I'm not making eye contact. That's because it's too close to my face. We live. Anyway, so I just got back from Burb's place after we saw Infinity War together. My therapy lamp is making weird crackly noises, and yes, I am using my therapy lamp as an extra source of lighting because, you know, what the fuck can you do? Anyway, so a couple things before we start. I spoiled myself before I watched Infinity War because I was not intending to watch Infinity War. And oh, I'm too quiet. Oh shit, my mic is all the way over here. Wow, I'm glad someone was online. There we go. So after the earthquake, Stip, can you hear me? Wow, I lucked out there. My mic was in the totally wrong place. Alright, type in chat when you can hear me. If you can hear me better. I'm relying on you, bud. Or I could like look at my thing. Better? Good. Okay. I'll try to like kind of speak up a little bit. Or a little soft, huh? Pardon for technical difficulties. I don't even know where my mouse went. Yeah, Slapdash did this a little bit. I mean, I always do everything Slapdash, but a little bit more than usual because I'm tired and lazy. Okay, this is basically as close as the mic can get to my face, without me getting silly. So we're gonna give this a shot. Fingers are crossed here. Anyway, so I just got back from Infinity War. I did spoil myself before seeing this movie, because I wasn't going to go see it. And then I heard it was better than expected from people I trust. And I decided to go see it because I was always going to go in to see how it was done rather than what was done. Because I was pretty sure I knew what was going to be done. I don't think they should have made Infinity War. I think it was a stupid choice for an Avengers big crossover movie thing. But, you know, I don't get to make movies. If I got to make movies, it'd be fucking awesome all the time, always. Duh. But the reason I'm calling this a suspension of misbelief. I'm using the definition of misbelief as kind of doubt, but also as kind of holding an erroneous assumption. You know, I'm going into this holding an erroneous assumption. The assumption that this movie shouldn't have been made. And that's not the right assumption to go into a movie with. So this movie requires my suspension of misbelief. Me to suspend my doubt in the movie itself, not just in the contents of the movie. And sometimes I was able to do that, sometimes I wasn't. So a weird thing happened as I was walking to the train. Whenever I see a movie, I see it, I enjoy it, whatever. And then I think about it, I percolate it, you figure out how you're feeling about it. And usually I get critical, I start to nitpick, you know? I'm the kind of person who's usually really good at turning off during a movie, and then afterwards I start thinking, and then I don't like it as much. This movie, the more I kept thinking, the more I liked it, which is very unusual for me. So I'm going to give this my usual incredibly narrow rating scheme. Again, for me, a 7 is a good thing, an 8 is a marvelous thing, and a 9 is basically Mad Max Fury Road. It's one of the few things that touches 9. I'm going to give this 6.5 for what it was. And it's hard for me to do that. It's a weird mental hurdle I have to go through, but did a lot of things really well. There were a couple of things it did poorly, but a lot of the things it did poorly, it couldn't help, you know? There are a couple things they definitely could have not done poorly. But for what it was good. You know, it's a movie where I had to pretend, not that I didn't get spoiled, because this movie was spoiled before I could have even seen the first trailer. And that's the trick. And this movie also does really well at helping you to suspend disbelief, which is kind of cool. So yeah, so I'm going to give this a 6.5. It's not a must-see. It's not. It's probably a must-see if you're a Marvel fan, because you'll need to see it to understand the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe from now until the end of time, probably. Because I might rewatch it if I was rewatching a bunch of them. I might never rewatch it to appreciate things about it. It did a couple of very basic things that I don't take for granted these days, which is that you knew what the characters' goals were at any given time. You had a sense of how they were going to achieve them, especially Thanos. I mean, as far as construction goes, it was decently constructed. But yeah, I had a lot of thoughts about this, and if I was a smarter or more thorough person, I'd make like an actual like scripted video about it that I record instead of streaming poorly. But I'm not. I'm gonna ramble about it. So some things I liked. I really liked how they handled Thanos' powers, because it's kind of like the joke where if you give Batman 24 hours, he'll figure out how to defeat anyone. If you give Thanos time to think and not just react, he can reverse time, change reality, yada yada yada. And they show when he has time to think, he's fucking unstoppable. So whenever you see the heroes have a chance, it's because they're overwhelming him, and he's not able to use his full potential. And I thought that was really effective. Like, that's how you deal with a villain who can literally bend time and space at his will. You keep him too busy to not remember, but to like make full use of his power. And they had the limitation of he has to be able to do the clinchy hand thing. So I thought that added consistency to a very terrifyingly powerful villain. And kept things interesting. It kept that grain of hope. I thought this movie was really good at some sleight of hand, you know, as far as balancing power levels, letting people feel like they're doing stuff. It really did balance the characters surprisingly well, given how many of them are there. Although, is Thor just the like third most powerful being in the universe right now after Thanos and Doctor Strange, and I guess not after Doctor Strange anymore? He can take a sun, literally the heat of a star, laser beamed into his magnificent abs and survive mostly. Like, damn, like Thor is just like, hey, cool, I'm gonna be the new Tony Stark. I'm gonna have all the personality and all the power. Like, good on you, mate. You're so beautiful. Pissed me off that they fucking gave him that fucking fake eye. Really? Really? Were you just that sick of making your goddamn actor wear a goofy eye patch or CGI in the goofy eye patch? Come on now. That's fucked up, giving him the fake eye. That is some bullshit. Stipulation in the comments says Scarlet Witch is the only one that has close peak power. I mean, yes, Scarlet Witch is a problem. And I don't want to say this for my friend, because my friend really likes Scarlet Witch, and Scarlet Witch is interesting, but Scarlet Witch is a problem. Not necessarily in this movie, although, again, suspension of misbelief, sort of, or in this case, suspension of meta-knowledge is going to be a recurring thing. Suspension of meta-knowledge. Why the fuck did you go with Scarlet Witch vision? Okay, I was so proud of you for going, okay, Ant-Man, Henry Pym, not a great guy, let's make... Or Hank Pym. Is Hank Pym? Whatever. Pym, not a great guy. Let's make him the legacy Ant-Man and make someone likable douchebag, actual Ant-Man. No. But going with the Scarlet Witch vision thing as canon, creepy. They were creepy in Avengers and Ultron and shit. They were creepy in Ultron and shit. They're a creepy concept. I love robot fucking. I am all about robot fucking. Hands down, love the robot fucking. That's a creepy ship. It's creepy in canon. Fuck you. Anyway... But yeah, Scarlet Witch is just... weird unbound magic power thing. Although I have a tangent about Scarlet Witch, which we're going to get to later, which I'm very excited about. Right, so. Yeah, just Thor's absurd, but God, I love him. Also, Groot's weirdly powerful. Like, damn, Teenage Groot can murder some alien hordes. The alien hordes didn't work for me, but they were never going to work for me. Like, I kind of just accepted, like, alien hordes, okay, that's going to be a thing in every superhero movie ever now. And it kind of makes sense, because you need to keep all the Avengers busy and give the, you know, give the less powered ones stuff to do, and this way we got to, you know, have M'Baku be amazing. I don't know why I thought this was going to be more coherent than it is. I was hoping it was going to be coherent, and I had thoughts and coherent plans and stuff, but fuck it. Right, so I talked a little bit about, I liked the balance of the movie overall. I liked how they handled Thanos' power level. Though another fucked up thing, you pieces of shit. When he used the Time Stone to undo the Mind Stone's destruction, no, you can't just make him undo the localized time thing of the Mind Stone's destruction. Really? Really? Fucking really? If you're gonna do that, just make him use the Reality Stone and put it back together. Come on now. If you're gonna do the Time Stone thing, do the cool thing of him reversing time, knowing what Scarlet Witch was going to do, and preempting her attack. You're gonna use time travel to solve a problem. Use time travel to solve the problem. Don't use time to do a different solution. Oh yeah, I'm gonna hate the second movie. Oh god. But yeah, like, Reality Stone, reality. Cool. Power Stone, fuse the pieces back together. Whatever. If you're gonna use the fucking Time Stone, use the Time Stone for time shit. That's not fucking rocket science. Ah. Yeah, it's not easy being me watching movies, especially because I'm not picky. I love movies. I'm a trash heap. But when I get neurotic about stupid shit, I get neurotic about stupid shit. Anyway, also, like, I am so sick of these movies predicating on characters acting like morons. I'm really sick of it. I get that humans have human emotions. They make them do human emotion things. I'm so sick of the plot device where the person has to do something fucking stupid for the movie to continue. Peter Quill having a tantrum at Thanos. Not murdering the shit out of Vision. Like, I'm just sick of it. It's just frustrating. It's just painful. Like, I'm okay with heroes losing. I went into this movie knowing that the movie heroes were going to lose. But, like, let them lose. Yeah, Doctor Strange seeing the future is a good lampshade. I like that. And I like that they went back to that with, like, oh yeah, this was the only way as he's dissolving. But yeah, people watching this later will be able to see the group chat now because YouTube added that. Good, okay. Because I'm responding to things in chat, and I know in the past they didn't show chat, but I'll still try to answer what the chat is. The funny thing is I'm talking with my friend Stipulation right now because he's in chat, and he's the person that I would have literally, if I wasn't doing this in a stream right now, I would be messaging him with all of this exact same shit, and we'd have you in this conversation. So it's like we're having this conversation live. Like, I might as well just put him on speakerphone. Whatever. They also handled Doctor Strange surprisingly well. Like, as far as like the things that you kind of need to see before this movie, you don't really need to see Civil War per se, because they kind of cover it. Honestly, Ragnarok is pretty important for context, which is funny since it's such a self-contained movie in some ways. I have not seen either Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and there's a lot of Guardians in here, but I don't feel like I lost that much. I probably lost a lot of pathos with Gamora's death, but also... Okay, I lost pathos with Gamora's death. I still got a lot of pathos. Like, damn. Josh Brolin, you managed to sell being purple and emotionless pretty well. Like, kudos, Josh Brolin. Better casting for this than I thought when they originally, like, first showed Thanos. Why the fuck did he send Loki to Earth again? Like, hey, here's the Tesseract and go to Earth and fuck shit up. Was that meant to be a kill half the population thing? Did he tell Loki it was a kill half the population thing? Maybe he was like, hey, kill half the population, then you get to rule the other half, and then give me back my Tesseract? I don't know. Also, how the fuck did Thor know all about the Infinity Stones? Did I miss something there where Thor became an Infinity Stones knowing guy? Burb was like, oh, Thanos probably villain monologued, or Maul probably villain monologued, but it seemed a little out of place. Like Thor was like, oh yeah, Infinity Stones, yada yada yada, cool, commandeering your ship, hey Rocket, cool, hey, cool, Groot, peace, oh yeah, I speak Groot. But whatever, Thor can do no wrong in my eyes. If Thor gains laser vision, cool, Thor's the god of laser vision. Down for amazing, great. Give me more Thor. I had another thought there. Also, I actually really liked Thanos' posse. I like the idea of having these like little mini bosses everywhere that you got to like watch be really powerful but get their ass kicked. And it always felt fair when they got their ass kicked. It never felt like, okay, occasionally it felt like they were randomly less powerful. But like, no, I felt like the bosses in games where you have to use the clever battle tactic or the thing in the environment to go kill them. And I was like, yeah, cool. We killed the mini bosses. Great. And again, the fights against Thanos himself were surprisingly good. Like, they did the Worf effect with having him fight Hulk first, so you're like, oh, he's going to fight the Hulk. And then having him kick Hulk's ass, it's like, oh shit. Black Widow and Captain America versus Vision and Scarlet Witch. Yeah, exactly. Like, power balance. Lol. Look, Captain America is apparently as strong as the Hulk now, as far as being able to like push back Thanos, kind of. But I was like, okay, Cap, yeah, keep on drinking those protein shakes, whatever. Okay, yeah, let's take things a little bit chronological. That was a bold move in the beginning to kind of undo the end of Ragnarok. I wasn't the biggest fan. I think there's a way more interesting things you could have done. Also, here's an assumption I'm making. I'm assuming that all the turning to dust deaths are going to be undone, because they're gonna be. And I'm assuming that all of the non-turning to dust deaths are going to be canon. Alright, that's my assumption here. So that being said, broader complaint about this movie is that it pillaged the other Marvel movies. Here's what I mean by that. If I recall reading this after I watched Ragnarok, is that the fate of the Asgardians after Ragnarok was they essentially like settle in, I think the U.S. and the Midwest, or they're floating above the Midwest or something, but they settle and form New Asgard. That's a great payoff. That's a great Thor 4 trying to relocate the Asgardians somehow. But that got pillaged by this movie. Steve and Bucky reuniting was like nothing. They're like, oh, hey, sup, bruh. Yeah, sup, bruh. Fist bump. And then Bucky's like, oh no, bye-bye. Like, they pillaged the potential emotional payoff of the next Captain America in exchange for this movie. And that, like, I get it, but it wasn't a worthy sacrifice. It was not worth sacrificing a Thor 4's payoff for this movie. It wasn't worth sacrificing Captain America's arc for this movie, you know? But yeah. I was actually, even though I knew Loki was going to die in the first couple minutes, I was still pretty surprised by that. Like, that was an interesting move. I like having, honestly, I think you gain more by having Loki around than you do by the shock factor of that. I don't really think Thor needed more things to be angsty about. Given that, you know, you could have had him angst about Heimdall and the entire murder of the Asgardians that he had just tried to save. But, you know, I can see it. But yeah, I always like the dynamic between Tony Stark and Spider-Man. Spider-Man did a great job of conflict. So she says Loki's character is played out. Counterpoint, Loki is hot and adorable, and I just want him to make out with everyone, and I just want him to stay alive until he can make out with everyone. I'm a simple man. I got simple tastes. But yeah, his character was played out, and that's probably the best ending you could have possibly given Loki. Whatever. Meh, meh, meh. I want more Loki. Simple man. I was thinking of going chronological, but let's see. So yeah, we had stuff with the Asgardians where I really don't think that was worth the payoff. Fanfiction.net. Okay, yeah, yes, stipulation, I can go on fanfiction.net. Why haven't I done that? Why have I not looked at Loki fanfiction yet? Because it's not going to be as good as what I would write. And I'm not going to write it. Moving on. Yeah, I like the mini-boss fights in New York. I hated the fight with Scarlet Witch and Vision. Mostly because I really don't like Scarlet Witch and Vision much. I hate to say it. But also, those fights were too zoomed in, too dark. Could have been cool fights. Also, you're telling me that these two schmucks are fighting Scarlet Witch and Vision and then get taken up by Black Widow and Captain America. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh yeah, well, Vision was stabbed a little bit. Righto. Yeah, and later in the movie, we're going to see Black Witch just, Scarlet Witch just literally just, like, levitate all of the, you know, the droids from Attack of the Clones and then smash them into a bunch of monsters. Yeah, sure. Okay. But yeah, she would totally lose that fight. Anyway. Okay, she literally sank Vision into the ground. Vision can phase through matter. Oh yeah, I got stabbed and it blocked my phasing ability. Okay. Alright, Vision. Yeah. Yeah, way to get just completely chumped in this movie. Oh well. At least you got to shoot a laser at someone ineffectually for like 30 seconds. Right. I feel like I'm a little tired of Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, honestly. I liked him, and I found his like back and forth with the Hulk as like nice comic relief. But like I'm getting kind of sick of his permanently befuddled thing. I don't know. I feel like I want him to have growth. Or, you know, like I don't think the Hulk can sustain his own movie, which is the problem. But Bruce Banner's an interesting enough character, and I think they could give him a little bit more to work with. They keep him like almost doing it. Like the idea that Hulk was taking over from Ragnarok was cool, and the idea that he can talk to Hulk now is cool. But like, just give him a little bit more meat. But you can't make him his own movie, so I don't even know how you would do that. Hulk and Deadpool. Make a Hulk and Deadpool movie. Fuck it. Oh, that'd be cool. Right, so. But yeah, like Thor starting up the Forge was a little bit silly, but then again, this is the Thor and Rocket Raccoon spin-off adventure, so it's going to be silly with giant Peter Dinklage. So sure, why not? Fuck it. There's something else that annoyed me in the midpoint. I'm trying to remember what it was. I mean, obviously there's something that annoyed me in the midpoint because it's me. Oh yeah, Doctor Strange is his buddy. Oh, what are you going to do now? Oh yeah, well, you know, my boss is gone and the sanctum's empty now, so later. Okay, bye-bye. I'm just going to call Steve Rogers now. Later, Magic Dude. We don't need your help anymore. Like, okay. Sure. I bet I'll never need your portal ability again. Go make some tea or something. I don't know. Clean up the hole in the ceiling that the Hulk made. Right. So I'm going to go back to the idea of suspension of misbelief and suspension of doubt. So I suspended the idea that this movie shouldn't exist pretty well, I think. My next suspension is that of kind of a meta thing. I know that this was originally meant to be 2 movies, and even if they're not officially doing part 1, part 2, I know that this is going to be an empire, you know? They're not going to win this movie. I know through basic, even before spoiling myself, I know through basic knowledge of what Thanos does, he murders the shit out of people. So I'm going to assume he's going to murder the shit out of people. I'm going to assume that they're going to bring people back. One thing this movie should have done, knowing our meta expectations, is been more careful about who they voiped. Like, voiping... Like, the people that they dusted didn't really matter. You know? Because Black Panther and Spider-Man, they're franchise cows still. Black Panther did stupidly well. They're both going to get more movies, so you know they're coming back. Bucky, that's the payoff for a different movie, so who cares? You know? Also, M'Baku survived, and if M'Baku survives, the movie's set. You know, we're just set. He's just going to save everything. You know, Nick Fury and Colby Smulders, because I can never remember that character's name. Oh, right. Nick Fury's in this world, sure. Glad he was involved in this whole catastrophe. Right, like you still have... Honestly, Doctor Strange piecing out was surprising, but that means they're going to have to just make more interesting solutions to the problems. Peter Quill's kind of interesting, but the Guardians had their arc already. You still have Steve, you still have Tony. You still have Banner. Right? You have Banner still? You have Banner still. Scarlet Witch... Did Scarlet Witch wipe out? I think Scarlet Witch died, right? Yeah. Right? So, like, you got Strange and Scarlet, who've wiped out, because they're the easy answers. Star-Lord wiped out because his arc was done. Spider-Man, you can't really do that much more with Spider-Man, you know. So he pieced out. Plus, he's going to be back. Black Panther, you had the kind of, like, you know, on the one hand, they can't kill Tony or Steve, but on the other hand, the choices were weirdly safe, construction-wise, you know? And once you see that, you can't unsee it. And I saw that instantly. And now I'm sharing it with you because I can, because I have fucking YouTube, you know? Also, I have a very sound theory on what's going to happen to Cap and Tony. Again, partially based on meta-knowledge that neither of these two actors is going to want to do this for very much longer. I'm surprised, given that Chris Evans has been mumbling for like at least 3 movies now. My prediction is Captain is going to die early on in the next movie. He's going to be the shocking death of the first or second act. That is going to be what makes Tony Stark give up in some way. Then Tony is going to be the heroic sacrifice that does something that helps the heroes win, as a callback to the Avengers 1, where he tries to sacrifice himself and turns out to survive. So that's my theory, that they're both going to die. Tony at the climax, Steve at the midpoint. Particularly given the way that they positioned the two of them in this movie, where Steve is just always likable Steve, but Tony is the protagonist of the protagonists. That's my bet. I'm placing a bet with myself on whether I don't think they're going to straight up use the Time Stone to reverse everything. Because that's too easy even for Marvel, right? So my hope and guess is that they don't resolve everything just using the Time Stone. Whole Gauntlet, sure, whatever, MacGuffin, Miss Marvel bullshit, great. But I'm hoping that they don't just be like, oh, Time Stone. Because that'd be kind of boring. Let's see, I'm trying to think of other things that I noticed in this movie. My crack theory that I would just love would be, so Scarlet Witch, reality bending powers, chaos powers in the comics. So in the comics, she is a mutant, Magneto's daughter, and Quicksilver being Magneto's son. And with the talk of Disney buying Sony and thus making the X-Men technically possible in the Marvel Universe, my crack theory would be that some part of the resolution to Infinity War would be inverse House of M. So House of M in the comics, and I read a lot about comics on Wikipedia, but I have read maybe 3 comics in my life. House of M was an arc where Scarlet Witch accidentally erased 90% of mutants from existence. Or either that or just removed depowered 90% of mutants. I want to see inverse House of M. I want to see, as some side effect, Reality Stone weirdness with Scarlet Witch, that she introduces mutant powers into the world. We have inverse House of M, and that's how we get the X-Men in the Marvel Universe. If this happens, it won't. I will be so fucking happy. And everyone who gets mad at me for saying the House of M would be an awesome movie, would be mad at me for being right. It'd be awesome. Also, by the way, going back to my thing of Infinity War should not have been the movie that they did. No, they should have done Secret Wars, where, hey, cool, turns out some of the Marvel heroes have been impersonated by Skrulls. You can tie that shit up with the TV verse. I don't want them to tie up that with the TV verse, but you can. You can still have the alien shit, but you have a less cosmic threat. Because I really, again, if you're going to do the cosmic threat thing, you did a pretty good job. You made Thanos interesting. You made fighting Thanos interesting. You made the stakes somewhat interesting. But that being said, going the cosmic route is just so extra. You know, it doesn't tap into what the good parts of the MCU are. Because the good parts of the MCU have never been the big flashy parts. Not really. It's hanging out and eating shawarma. Like, God. Just give us more fight scenes like the Cap, Bucky, Tony one at the end of Civil War, where you have these three characters in shot, you see what they're doing, you know why they're there, and it's engaging. You know? It's just such a well shot fight scene, and even the airport scene, for better or for worse, feels personal. The Avengers work when they're individuals, and this movie did that better than it probably should have. I give it mad props for that. Again, going back, the fight on Titan was so good. It was good at making Thanos feel balanced, giving each character stuff to do, but you had a sense of you knew what was going on in the action, you knew what their goals were. I like the fact that once Star-Lord pissed off Thanos, that's when he's like, okay, I'm pissed, stepping it up. I appreciated that because they were keeping him just kind of distracted before then. But when he started taking it seriously, you got to see more of his full power. I appreciated that. It never felt like he forgot what his powers were. It just felt like he couldn't be bothered to use them. And you kind of need that. But yeah, like, the Wakanda thing was the Wakanda thing. I'm curious. So, one of the potential off-screen deaths, I'm really curious if Shuri is alive or not. Because if you're going with the 50-50 thing, we have, oh god, what's her name? Oh god, I can't remember her name. The Black Panther's right-hand person. We have her, we have M'Baku. We don't have Black Panther. So, I'm wondering if Shuri's gonna make it or not. Because if Shuri's alive, okay, she's just gonna save the fucking day. She'll be like, okay, hey, while I was taking this thing out of Vision's head, I made a Mind Stone laser beam, and I'm gonna fucking snipe Thanos from across the galaxy. And the movie's over in 10 minutes, and I'll be happy because Shuri is the best. Stip says Star-Lord did the exact thing, lashing out emotionally in Guardians 2 and a little bit in 1. Yeah, I figured that's on brand. And I honestly almost don't mind it. Kind of like Tony losing his shit in Civil War. I get it. I don't mind when emotional characters do emotional things and it fucks up the plot. It's just, I am kind of sick of it though. Like, I get it, and it's not even out of character, but it's like the meta thing. You know, something has to go wrong. What can we make go wrong having one of the heroes fuck up? You know? I don't know. Excuse me. It annoyed me more when they did the thing when they just didn't kill Vision. Quite frankly, it irritated me that they didn't just, okay, Mind Stone, let's blast it out of Vision's head. Vision, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but it's still kind of like a, y'alls. Like, repair him. Or some shit. He's also weird science magic. Whatever. I can move on from this. It makes sense thematically, narratively, yada yada yada. I wouldn't blast a Vision's Mind Stone. Are you kidding? I don't got the guts to do that. I can't talk shit. Also, I liked Captain's like subtle shield fist things. I was into those. That was cool. You know what was cooler? Fucking Thor. Lightning axe. Although, come on now. Not bringing back Immigrant Song for a round 3 when he shows up at that fight. Yeah, I should have paid the extra money to get Immigrant Song round 3. Oh, come on, that would have been so cool. Come on now, have a little fun here. Also, give him back his goddamn eye patch. Fuckers. So I can't see myself on the screen because I scrolled down. But I always scroll down enough to see the chat. So I can see, like, here, from here to here. So I can occasionally just see gesticulation. And I find it amusing. But yeah, so predictions for Infinity War 2. Based on the after credit sequence, Ms. Marvel's going to be a huge part. I'm very excited for her solo movie. I'm a little worried about where the power level is going in the MCU. Because, you know, Thor's been super powered. We have Scarlet Witch. Spider-Man, even Spider-Man's getting upgrades. I'm assuming we're gonna lose Steve. Assuming Black Widow's gonna get out. Hopefully we get a Black Widow movie. I think there's one slotted, but goddamn. Okay, seriously. Okay, Black Widow movie, spy movie. Shuri is her Q. Shuri is her tech person as she goes into spy shit. It's gonna be good. Stipulation: the universe reset has to happen soon. Oh, come on. No, please, no. No universe reset. I mean, we're gonna have a soft reset of Infinity War anyway. We can't have, like, that big of a reset. And someday the TV series have to start making sense. Or maybe they don't. Maybe we can just have, like, the Netflix verse, the fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. verse, and then the movie verse, and it'll be fine. And I kind of don't want to cross those streams. Although Luke Cage on the Avengers would be awesome, because Luke Cage is awesome. That's as far as I'm going to intelligently think about that one, because it doesn't make sense. Something else I really wanted to cover. This was way more incoherent than I was hoping. I had like a whole script in mind when I was walking home. It was going to be awesome. And then instead I just did my normal bullshit. But yeah, like, it was interesting how much this movie forced me to try to not read too much into things. But it's a movie where it does not take a lot of effort to see the scaffolding. To see, okay, here's why these were the characters that got dusted. Here's why this character did this, you know? But it's the Marvel formula. They did the things that they had to do. And they did it well. Again, this movie was better than it should have been. And it even shouldn't have been in the first place. But honestly, despite some really severe nitpicks, the biggest ones being, you killed the payoff of Thor 4, you killed the payoff of the next Captain America, and Thor's eye patch. Having those three fairly severe quibbles, and I guess the Norway, or wherever the fuck that was. Was it Norway? Scotland? No, it was Scotland, right? Why did I think Norway? I don't remember. Whatever. That fight was bad, and it should feel bad. But yeah, aside from those quibbles, like, it was a solid movie. I don't think it's a must-see. It's a must-know. The second one is probably more of a must-see, but it depends on really how much they fuck up the universe after it. Like, I do appreciate going into Infinity War 2, I don't know what the status quo is going to be after it. I'll be kind of disappointed if it's an identical status quo, but I don't think it can be. You know, again, I think Loki's permadead. I do think the Asgardian stuff is permadead. I think Cap and Steve are going to be permadead, at least Cap. Especially because I think the next movie does have to have more of an emotional arc for Cap. Stip says, if you like Marvel movies, it's totally worth it. I don't know. I would not have been disappointed not seeing this in theaters, at the very least. I feel like I'm someone whose general opinion of the Marvel movies is like medium, you know? Like, I haven't seen either Guardians, haven't seen Thor 2. Took me a long time to see Winter Soldier, though that was a mistake. Winter Soldier was very good. Although I have some suspicions about how it's going to hold up on my third viewing, but that's actually a plan for a future video. It is way better than Ultron, but like this video is better than Ultron. I'm telling a better event. I have had at least 3 better Avengers stories in this video than Ultron was. Ultron, all you had to do was not what you did. Any of it. All of what you did in Ultron was bad. Don't do it. Make a better movie about Ultron. Or don't. Aside, a stipulation like this. A friend of mine agrees with me that Iron Man 3 is awesome. So there's at least one other person out there that really likes Iron Man 3. I feel like you didn't like Iron Man 3. Because I feel like nobody I know liked Iron Man 3. Unless it's just, maybe I'm just misremembering this. But I found someone else who likes Iron Man 3 and thinks it's great. So, yeah. Because it is. Actually, yeah, why not? Let me do like a kind of a rough recap of how I rank Marvel movies. This is definitely in the top half of Marvel movies. It's definitely worse than Thor Ragnarok. No. Stipulation is, that's what most people, have taste. No. Iron Man 3 is fucking excellent, and if I ever rewatch it, probably not as good as I remember it, but it knew how to fuck around. I think Iron Man 3, if Iron Man was the waters for the MCU, Iron Man 3 is why we have things like Thor Ragnarok now. Because it was their test to see if they could fuck with us and just fuck around a little bit, and the MCU needed some more fucking around. Yeah, but Thor 2 is prime fucking around that was boring. And also wasted the 9th Doctor. So, fuck Thor 2. Oh, so I'm actually planning on doing a video series where I look at the Marvel movie fights out of context. I might watch the whole movie, or I might just watch the fight. But I really want to watch the Thor 2 fight without the rest of Thor 2. Because I think it's going to be really good. Similarly, I actually think the climax of Winter Soldier is going to be really bad without the context of Winter Soldier. I think the Avengers is going to be like, because the Marvel movies are so, I don't want to say formulaic, but they're so constructed, I really want to do an analysis of their fight scenes in abstract. That's going to be a project for later, but Thor 2 is on that list of something for me to look at again. I realize I'm kind of having a conversation with chat right now, but whatever, fuck it. There's another thing I was going to get at before I got distracted by this Iron Man 3 tangent. Okay, yeah. So, top tier Marvel movies are definitely Winter Soldier and Ragnarok. I think Civil War was good. Need to rewatch that. Original Avengers, it's so hard to split out stuff, and it was so ambitious. It just kind of stand on its own. Iron Man 1 is like 66% good. And then, Jeff Bridges is kind of like, okay, stop talking. Iron Man 3 is great. I feel like this one slots in around there. Did I ever actually finish Thor 1, or did I just see most of Thor 1 in, like, diners? I feel like I've seen a lot of Thor 1 in diners at various points around. Ant-Man. Oh yeah, I forgot the Ant-Man's a thing. I think I liked Ant-Man. I think I liked Ant-Man as much as I can like a movie where I just don't give any fucks. But it was funny. Iron Man 2 was definitely the worst. I cannot envision... If I'm forgetting a movie that's worse than Iron Man 2 in the MCU, and I'm not counting the Thor movies, come on now. I know they show them in the fucking marathons, but Iron Man 2 is actually worse than Ultron. And that's impressive. Whatever, I'll have to do like... Oh yeah, no. Step you might be behind, but I just discounted the Hulk movies. I I consider, was there a Hulk that actually came out after Iron Man, or both Hulks before Iron Man? Yeah, I actually haven't seen either of the Hulk. I didn't think there was a Hulk that came out as part of the MCU. I thought they were like lightly canon. I thought maybe Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. shows up in Hulk, maybe? But whatever. I'll believe that Hulk was actually after Iron Man. Interesting. Well, okay. Well, I'll take your word that Hulk is worse than Iron Man. Thank you, Step. Anyway, wow, I've been rambling about this for 45 minutes. I wonder if there's anything else I should cover. I honestly, despite the big action sequence being in Wakanda, we didn't really get that much Wakandaness out of it, and I was kind of okay with that. Also, okay, hey, we're gonna shoot laser blasts out of our spears at the monsters that get through the barrier while holding shields. Aces. Oh, we're gonna open up a small part of the barrier. Aces. We're gonna stop shooting them and start charging them. No! You have them pouring through a narrow gap. You keep shooting the fuckers until they're licking your eyeballs. That's when you stop shooting, or maybe like slightly before then. But you don't start... If they're coming through the choke point, that's not when you charge them. You either go to the choke point first, which you can't do since they're going through, but no, you just keep shooting the fuckers that are going through the choke point until you can no longer shoot fuckers. Like, goddamn. What, you have no ships that can shoot fuckers? I know you have ships that can shoot fuckers. Shoot some fuckers with the ships. Don't just be like, oh, we're opening the door. This is the right time to stop shooting. No! God. Little things. It's the little things that don't make sense. I also spent so much disbelief, like, oh, Thor just moved these giant rings in space? Cool. Sure. He's hot. Stopping shooting bitches when they started going through the door? No! That's when you shoot them. They go through the door. Anyway. I mean, since this is like, at this point, this is mostly a conversation I'm having with my friend Stipulation here. Hey Stip, anything else I should talk about? Or that you want to call me out on my bullshit for? I figured it's a Q&A in the mind of Double Bite. And I'm sure you and I will talk about this later. Because, you know, fuck it. Let me think. Also, the Red Skull cameo. Weird. First of all, you couldn't borrow Hugo Weaving for like 10 minutes? You couldn't get Hugo Weaving to be Red Skull again for just 10 fucking minutes? What else is he doing right now? He's done filming The Hobbit. I kind of like that he got zapped into being the guardian of by the Tesseract into being the guardian of the Soulstone. That was kind of cool. Weird that we have like a space Nazi guarding the Soulstone, but I kind of like that kind of karmic justice thing. It added a sort of mysticalness to it. But you really couldn't get Hugo Weaving for 5 minutes? Yeah. And Stipulation said Thanos Brolin cannot get enough props. Agreed. When I first saw him as Thanos, I'm like, this guy looks stupid. I saw him in the commercials, this guy looks stupid. Also weird that Josh Brolin is now going to be in 2 Marvel movies coming after each other, but I digress. He's also Cable in Deadpool 2, which is going to be bad. I'm calling it now. But you know, surprisingly good. A friend of mine pointed out that Ron Perlman would have been perfect in the role, and I can't unsee that now. But given the difficulty of acting in that much CGI and the weird role of it, I'm kind of sad that they didn't go the full cheese route of having Thanos wanting to kill half the world to impress death. But they also cover that so well in the comics that I appreciate that they're covering this ground instead. And the final scene of him just like sitting down and kind of like contemplating was so good. So he did a really solid job acting through mostly voice and sheer presence. Like, do give mad props there. And I was just about to say something. What the fuck was I about to say? I have no idea what I was about to say. Nope, it's completely gone. Yeah, no. Matt Propton. Oh yeah, no, I remembered. I haven't read this miniseries yet, but I plan to. But I read about the new Thanos solo miniseries that has such an interesting end. And again, it's not going to be the end that Infinity Wars does, because they're just not going with the Thanos trying to seduce Death arc. But check it out. Either read up on it if you're like me and like reading about comics more than you like reading comics, or just check it out. It's a fascinating take on the character. I might tweet a link to it if I remember. Haha, not likely. But yeah, check it out. Anyway, yeah, I think that covers it. I am at like 50 minutes, which is a lot of rambling. But yeah, no, surprisingly solid movie. Again, the more I think about it, the more I like it, which never happens with movies. And I think is a good sign as to its overall, how it holds up on a structure. Like how it holds up structurally and how well done it was and stuff. So, no, excuse me, yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go try to cool off a little bit so I can get some sleep. But I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. I never understand why you enjoy my ramblings, but I hope you did. And I'm definitely going to be doing more Marvel coverage in the future, because Burb and I wanted to do some videos together just shooting the shit about movies. And we're both Marvel fans. I think them more than I. So we're going to be kind of like doing a kind of a retrospective on Marvel coming up, and some other movies as well. I'm going to make them see some cheesy action movies, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie, and tag your spoilers for those who have watched. Actually, don't tag your spoilers. Fuck it. I mean, I guess tag your spoilers in case people like check the comments and then don't see whatever. I don't care. I mean, fucking go wild. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, double bite out. Now let me see. Oh god, my mouse is so. Hold on. I don't have stop streaming mapped to a shortcut yet, so it always takes me a while. Okay, now outro. Until next time, double bite out.